Now,
His newscast theme music was from the Paul Newman movie Cool Hand Luke.
Good evening. Here's what's happening. The telephone call.
Van Amburg, the ambitious kid from San Francisco State, erupted on the Bay Area news scene, bringing viewers this just-in news as it had never been done before.
And saying something about his friends being dead, about a double murder being committed.
Items that would, as Van liked to say, make you laugh, make you cry, and afterwards you'd never be the same. Although Van's career and Channel 7 seemed joined at the electronic hip, he actually stepped into the world of television in 1959 right here as sports director of Channel 5. He also did some play-by-play for the Raiders as Fred Van Amburg before going on to Channel 7 10 years later. There, he dropped his first name, became simply Van Amburg, and started taking their newscasts from the bottom of the news ratings to the top. At the high point of his career, Van and his Channel 7 on Your Side brand of broadcasting attracted an awesome number of viewers. At one time, his ratings were double those of his closest competitor. He was controversial, willful, a believer. And he desperately wanted his viewers to believe that the little guy needed a voice. And Van set out to be that voice. He wasn't afraid to take a stand. He delighted in taking on cults and terrorists, anyone he thought was taking advantage of the little guy. As for journalistic objectivity, sometimes that would just have to wait.
We've always maintained here on News Scene that nothing's impossible if you care enough and are willing to really go to bat and fight for it. And that was
in the 1970s, Van pioneered what became known as happy talk, light banter woven into the serious news of the day. He'd kid with his co-anchor about a story he'd just read, or give the weatherman a hard time about his necktie. Anything to show viewers he was more than a stiff, uninvolved newsreader. Happy talk seemed to be more stories about cats up a tree than Congress in crisis. Critics started calling it frothy chit-chat. The ratings people called it a triumph. And so it was, Van, the newsman first seen on Channel 7 on horseback wearing a white hat, came to the rescue along with the rest of his news gang in this promotional announcement that said it all.
Van the Kid Amburg, Big Jerry Jensen.
He's been off